Did you know that the American Revolution wasn't just a noble quest for independence? Behind the famous battles and legendary speeches lies a web of conflicting loyalties, hidden agendas, and untold stories. What really happened during America's fight for freedom? Stick around. This isn't the history lesson you got in school. Welcome back to the Dusty Scroll, where we uncover the hidden truths of history. Today, we're diving into the American Revolution, not as a fairy tale of freedom, but as a complex and gritty struggle involving civil unrest, political manipulation, and international interference. Make sure to subscribe and hit that bell for more untold history. Most of us are taught a simple version of the revolution. Brave colonists stood up to British tyranny and fought for freedom, but that narrative leaves out so much. What about the 1 in 5 colonists who remained loyal to the British crown, or the enslaved people who fought on both sides for promises of freedom? Many colonists weren't fighting for democracy. Some were protecting their land, wealth, or regional power, and others. They just wanted to survive a war that ripped communities and even families apart. Yes, many patriots believed in liberty, but liberty for whom? Even key figures like Thomas Jefferson and George Washington enslaved people. For many, independence meant protecting their wealth from British taxes and control. Often portrayed as villains, Loyalists had their reasons. Some believed British rule offered stability or feared economic collapse. Over 60,000 Loyalists eventually fled to Canada, the Caribbean, or back to Britain after the war. A large number of people tried to stay out of it. They were farmers, laborers, or indigenous peoples who saw both sides as threats to their land or livelihood. Here's where the story gets even more complex. Enslaved people were promised freedom by both the British and the Patriots. Meanwhile, Native American tribes like the Iroquois Confederacy were forced to choose sides often, resulting in devastating consequences regardless of their allegiance. The American Revolution wasn't just local, it was part of a larger global conflict. France entered the war after the Battle of Saratoga, providing crucial funding, troops, and naval support. Spain and the Netherlands also joined, not out of love for America, but to weaken Britain. After nearly 8 years of war, the conflict ended with the Treaty of Paris in 1783. It formally recognized the United States as an independent nation, but also left behind unresolved issues. Britain ceded vast lands to the U.S. without consulting native tribes who lived there. The treaty said Loyalists should have their property returned, but that was often ignored. New borders were drawn, but disputes with Britain and Spain would flare up in the coming decades. In many ways, the treaty was just the beginning of the next phase of America's growth and its conflicts. So what should we really take away from the American Revolution? It was far more than a battle between freedom and tyranny. It was a civil war, an international power struggle, and a turning point for countless lives, many of which are forgotten in mainstream history. The Revolution's legacy still shapes American identity today. From its foundational values to the unresolved issues of inequality and representation, if you found this deeper dive into the American Revolution eye-opening, you'll love our next video, The Founding Fathers, Heroes or Hypocrites. We break down the contradictions that shaped America's early leadership. Drop a comment below what surprised you most about today's video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that bell for more untold stories from history.